a lot of the remedies that are prescribed in Islamic medicine, are they like, will they work? The effectiveness of them, does it depend on how how you're eating in terms of like, do you need to like, if someone came to you with cancer and you prescribe like some of them take the almonds or whatever, but their whole diet has been like, you know, with the non-organic meats and a lot of, you know, processed foods and things like that. Does it depend on how much does it depend on whether or not your body is, you know, rid of those, like, you know, a lot of the processed foods and the things that are food coloring and things like that?
Well, you know, the thing about health, again, back to this principle, the question was, you know, traditionally foods that are used by some of the traditional Hakims, how effective are they if a person is, you know, doing lots of things that are way out of balance? Is that in essence what you're saying? Eating foods that are processed, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, it's pretty important. I mean, remember that when we talk about health, the meaning of the word, remember that health. And you know, it's so hard to get across to people. I mean, we live in an age and in a place where people have this idea that I'm going to get this panacea. If I get the right medicine, I'm going to be well. Or the idea alone, you know, I mean, a lot of these diets come along. A lot of people have this idea, if I eat particular things and in a particular way, I'm going to be well. You know, and that's one aspect of the whole story. Whole health, whole. Every aspect of one's life is, and this is one of the things that Ibn Sina, traditionally the Hakims all stressed, and it's really something that the Prophets all brought as well. The core of it is how you are with Allah and yourself, and then how you are with your neighbors. So it's the whole story, and most people, I mean, the one single thing besides eating that we here in this society have just an impossible time, and you don't know how many times I have close friends, and I have what I would call clients, students, people who understand what I'm telling them, and they believe it, and they believe what I'm telling them, and I tell them this over and over and over and over, year after year after year, and they still don't do it. And that is, become sufficiently active to be healthy physically. Because the age again conspires against it. Yeah, I should be out, yeah, I should do something to get into shape, they say. And yeah, you say that every year, and after 5 years, you're in a very different place. After 10 years, you're sick. After 15 years, it's hard to regain it. I tell you, you can regain physical health, you know, anytime before the age of 40 is pretty easy, and you can still do it after the age of 40. I'm still doing it. I mean, I have ups and downs, but I, you know, get back into my physical activity. But we don't walk. I mean, so what do we do? How do we compensate for the fact that we don't even walk, let alone cut wood, let alone carry wood? People who are very active in the world, people who spend a lot of time in computers, whatever it might be, people who do a lot of work with people, whatever, I mean, people who are intelligent and sustain high-level activities also find a way, whether it's at a gym, you know, or in some kind of sport or activity, they find some way to stay physically active. And they make that part of their important schedule. Yeah, they have to have this appointment and this consultation with this, you know, such a business in this world as it exists today. They have it at that time, but before that they have this. And that may be, whatever, swimming. I recommend swimming. Swimming is a really good exercise. Ibn Sina and the traditional Hakims recommend swimming. You know, it's in water and it's like full range of motion. The problem with a lot of exercise, machines, you know, there always will be a machine. This is a machine. It's an awesome machine that Allah designed. And it's designed to do, like I say, dancing, I mean, I'm sorry, dancing of any kind is good exercise. Especially if there's music that's enjoyable.
Techno is good.
Hmm?
Techno is good.
What?
Dancing techno?
Well, I mean, to be honest, I used to rave. All night. Because I like to dance all night. And I could feel it in the morning. And I'd pass through these stages of getting tired after You know, after the first 3 or 4 hours, and then you pass through that. And then the second couple of, 3 or 4 hours, and then you move right on through it until your body is totally in this. I mean, yeah, it's a techno beat, but it doesn't stop. The music doesn't stop. That's why I enjoyed it, to be honest. I'm not recommending it to you, but I'm saying that was good for me. Do you know what I mean? And at the age of 57, 58, it invigorated me. You know? The body isn't awesome. It remains awesome. And like I said, did I tell you all about the man I met in Pakistan who was like 90 and then I met his grandfather? They used to run. You know, that's the way they dealt with, if they got sick of it, they just get out and run. But they were tall, thin, lanky, flexible, agile. They were like cheetahs anyway. Human cheetahs, you know what I mean? You know, that kind of quality of. So, yeah, so, how do you get someone to go out and exercise? I mean, I have one family, and and they're good clients, and I've treated them homeopathic, and we've gone through many serious illnesses and keep their family well and healthy, and I keep coming to the same thing. And they say, yeah, we've got to get out and exercise. They still don't do it. They still don't do it, and they know they cannot be well with it. So yeah, back to what I was saying. Yes, medicine is the almonds. Again, what I was saying, my teacher said, if it's in your family, it doesn't mean that if you have cancer and you eat almonds, you're going to get over the cancer. But if you have it in the family, he said, there's no harm in eating a few almonds every day as a preventative. Allahu alam. But back to this thing, health means whole. And everything in your life takes part in it. You cannot be well. It's that story of Rumi tells the story about the man who's sick and every physician that comes can't find the healing. And then one physician comes and says, that's because, I think it's a woman in the story. Do you know the story in the Matnavi? She's in love with someone she's separated from in some other city. And that's a metaphor for the basic illness that afflicts us all is our separation from Allah. But that's reiterated by our separation from Mother. It's reiterated by our separation from the womb, which we either successfully renegotiate or don't. By our separation from Mom, which we either successfully renegotiate or don't. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And at this point in time, we can, back to what I was saying, how do you, your question, how do we renegotiate that sense of fullness, completion, connection, and wholeness? Closeness to Allah, closeness to ourselves, closeness to each other. It comes from our own heart. It starts by being close to Allah. But then comes from the next stage of really feeling close to other people and really feeling love for other people. And getting it in return because of that, even if it's the person in the video store that you see for 10 minutes, because it happens in all places. So we take our break?